Okay, let's just stop there. Some people may really have no clue what this is about.
About Laodicea.
Yeah, well, and when you look at Revelation 2 and 3, chapter 2 and chapter 3, Jesus is giving messages to 7 churches, and Laodicea is the last church. It's the 7th church. And those 7 churches, they're listed in chapter 1, and they're listed in chapter 2 and 3. There's Ephesus, there's Smyrna, Pergamos, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea, if they get that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Laodicea is number 7. And so these 7 churches were actually real churches in the time of John in the first century. And somebody just recently told me that they went through it. They went for a tour in Asia Minor, which is now Turkey.
The ruins of those churches.
Yeah, they went to those 7 churches, and there was not much there, but they still were able to go to the ruins. And the point is, those used to be real.
They existed. Yes.
Yeah, they did. They were Christian churches. But Jesus in Revelation 1, 2, and 3 uses those churches also as symbols of stages of his people, his Christian
church history.
That's right, all throughout history. So Ephesus was represented the early church. Smyrna was a church of suffering because the early church had spread into the Roman world. Then the Roman Empire reacted, and the persecution from different Roman emperors came down on the Christians. And then there was the time of Constantine, where the church came out of the catacombs, and it became the Pergamos period, where deceptions were coming into the church. And then there was the Thyatira period, which took them into the Dark Ages, where there was death and just a lot of bad things, when the papal power was ruling Europe through the kings, the connection with the kings of Europe. And then you get into the Sardis period, which was the Reformation period.
Coming out of that, yeah.
Yeah, but then it declined into a form of just spiritual deadness. That was the Sardis period. Then there's the Philadelphia period, which is
brotherly love.
Yeah, brotherly love, where that was the time of the 1840s, the rise of the
Bible societies.
Well, and beyond that, the Advent movement, which was drawing people's attention to the coming of Jesus, a great revival in the 1830s and 40s. And then we get down into the Laodicean period, which is the final period, the final phase, you could say.
We're in that now.
Yeah, of the Church of God. And that's the period that we're in. So this is a message, the message of Jesus to the Laodicean church today is his message, is God's last message, because the Laodicean church is the last of the churches. So it's that's the title of the series. It's God's last message to his church, which in this case is not the people out there in the mother and the daughters.
Not in Babylon.
That's right. It's the people of God who claim to have great light, who understand history, understand the Bible, prophecy, and yet they have a big problem.
And they have been privileged. God's church has been, given so much. And so it would be easy to start, looking at yourself and thinking, hey, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, and that's what happens. And that's what we see in this message. So let's just quickly work our way through this. And then we'll save verse 17 for on the other side of the break.
Sure. So